So we're learning the Maamar Vayomer Yehonasan Machar Chodesh that the Rebbe said on Erev Rosh Chodesh Iyar Tavshin Chav Ches, and the Rebbe edited the Maamar for Beis Iyar. The point of the Maamar, the Rebbe is explaining the mission that Yehonasan gave to David. That Yehonasan means the oires, the lights and the energy of the worlds of Atzilus, above the world, and David is who comes down into this physical world. And Yehonasan is giving him a mission to go and elevate and refine the physical world. And the Rebbe connected it to the 3 months of Nisan, Iyar, and Sivan. Nisan is the power. That's Yitzias Mitzrayim, leaving Mitzrayim. That's the power to be involved in the world. Iyar is the month of Sfiras Omer, the involvement in the world. And Sivan is what is accomplished as a result, which is the month of the giving of the Torah. And the Rebbe is explaining that there's 2 concepts. There's what's called a segul and there's what's called a segulta. The segul has 3 dots and the segulta has 3 dots. The 3 dots of the segul is where the dot is under the 2 that are on top, and the 3 dots of the segulta is where the dot is on top. And the concept of it is to go down into the world. The segul, in order to get higher, the concept of segulta. And then the Rebbe connected this to the mizmor that we say, the chapter of Tillim that we say after Sfiras Omer. That the Alshich explains that this talks about the time of Mashiach, and that there are 2 concepts, 2 things that will happen in the time of Mashiach. One is Elokim Yechoneinu V'Varcheinu, the blessings, the abundance of blessings that come from Hashem to the Jewish people. And the other is Kisish Beit Amim Misher, that Hashem will take care and elevate and refine the nations of the world. And the Alshich explained that Mizmor Shir, the introduction in the first pasuk, is the introduction to both of these concepts. Mizmor is for the first idea, the song that's sung for the abundance of blessings that come for the Jewish people. Shir is for the second concept, which is the song that comes for this, the Avodah with the Umm with the nations of the world. And then the Rebbe says that the Tzemach Tzedek says that in Likutei Torah it says the opposite. Mizmor is the song of the Malachim, the angels, and Shir is the song of the neshamas of the Jewish souls. Which means that the Alshich is from the world of Drush. The world of Drush is intellectually the deep intellectual hidden secrets of the Torah, but that are according to the levels of the intellectual world. Over there, what makes sense, that what comes first? First is the first concept, like the order in the chapter in Tillim. First, the most important thing is the blessings, the abundance of brachas that come for the Jewish people. And then we talk about what happens with the nations of the world. But in Likutei Torah, which is Chassidus, which is based on Kabbalah, over there it says no. Mizmor is the song of the Malachim, the angels, which is the root of the physical world and the animal soul of a Jew. Shir is the song of the neshamas. And the idea of it is that which comes first, as a result of the song of the Malachim, as a result of the refinement and the elevation of the physical and material world, there will be an added abundance of blessing that will come to the Jewish people. And the Rebbe says that nevertheless, in the chapter of Tillim itself, Elokim Yechoneinu, the blessings for the Jewish people come first, because the ultimate purpose of everything, when David HaMelech is specifying, he says it's all about the blessings that come to the Jewish people. But in the introduction, he's explaining that how do they come? Through Mizmor Shir, through first the elevation of the physical world. And the Rebbe went on to explain that the Chiddush, or the special idea, the novel concept that we see over here, is that we know that during the Avodah, when a person is working in the time of Galus, then it's obvious that our main Avodah is Dira B'Tachtainim, our main Avodah is to work with the world, to refine the physical and material world, and as a result, there's a higher level of blessings that come from it. But here, this Mizmor, this chapter is talking about the time of Mashiach. Once Mashiach comes, that seemingly is after we did what we have to do in the world. Then we're already holding by the schar, by the reward that comes. In the reward that comes, there should be the most important thing is the blessings that come to the Jewish people. There shouldn't be any importance in what happens by refining and elevating the world. And here the Rebbe says that we see over here, no. We see over here that even in the reward, even in the time of Mashiach, when both things will happen, yet even the refinement of the world, the elevation of the world that happens then, is also something that adds to the brachas that the Jewish people get then. How does that work? So the Rebbe says we see this by an example of the neshama and the guf. Let's take a look at the neshama and the guf. A Jew has two parts to him. There's the soul and there's the body. The soul is the spiritual part. The soul is the part of us that connects to Hashem. The soul is the part of us that sees godliness, that sees the spiritual energy. There's the physical body, the physical part of us which connects to the physical and material world that doesn't see godliness. Now, the neshama, when it was up there, was amazing. The neshama, when it was up in the spiritual worlds, before it came down here, everything was just unbelievable. Then the neshama came down for a purpose. Just to explain the idea, there's a very interesting story that the Rebbe tells with regards to there was a chassid of the Mittler Rebbe. And the Rebbe very often told this story, but here the Rebbe explains it in a very interesting way. There was a chassid of the Mittler Rebbe. Now, in the time of the Mittler Rebbe, there was a takana, there was an established rule that any chassid that came to Lubavitch, he was only allowed to come on condition that on his way home he stops off at every possible town. And in every possible town he goes to the shul and he chazers chassidus, he says over the chassidus that he heard in Lubavitch. The basic point is you don't come here to Lubavitch just for yourself so you should enjoy the chassidus that you hear. That's amazing. But the purpose is that you should spread chassidus and teach it to others. And if you don't do that, then you have no point. You have no business coming to Lubavitch. So of course that's what chassidim would be doing. There was one specific chassid that he had a very good tongue, as they say. He had a very good manner of explanation, and when he would explain the Maamorim, he would teach them and tell them over, and he did it beautifully. And when he finished teaching the Maamar, when he finished saying over the Maamar, everyone would give him a big yasher koyach and pat him on the back. And he came to the middle of Rebbe and he complained. He says, Rebbe, this is killing me. Everything, the worst thing that can happen in the world is yeshus, ego. And here, I'm chazering chassidus, but as a result, I'm becoming proud, I'm getting pride from it. And so he asked the Mittler Rebbe for permission to exempt him from the necessity, from the obligation of saying chassidus, because he said this is doing the worst thing that can happen for me. And the Mittler Rebbe said to him, "Atzibale zol fundir werden, aber chassidus sollst du chazen." Better become like an onion. An onion is sharp to the taste. Better become like an onion, which means even if there's the most terrible things that happen to you, but your job and mission is to chazer chassidus, to say over chassidus. And the Rebbe explained this in a very interesting way. There are some people that they're afraid to be involved with others, because they say, if I'm going to be involved with people, it's bali mullet. It's almost impossible to run away from the fact that I'll speak lashon hara and speak badly or embarrass someone, etc. The worst things that can happen to a person. So rather I should lock myself in my room and just learn Torah, and that's it. And so the Rebbe says like this. The neshama, before it came down into this world, what was it doing? It was learning Torah. The neshama, before it came down to this world, didn't speak lashon hara. It didn't say bad things. It didn't do bad things. You didn't come down to this world just not to do bad things, because for that you could have stayed up there. You came down to this world in order to get involved in the world with helping other people. So you have to be careful not to speak badly at the same time. But to say that just because I may, chas v'shalom, come to do something bad, so therefore I shouldn't do my purpose of coming down. Why would you come down in the first place then? This is the concept that the Rabbi explains. And this is the same thing regarding the general idea of the neshama coming down into this world. The neshama came down into a world where it has to be involved with the physical and material world in the physical body, elevating the physical and material world. However, as a result, the neshama reaches the ultimate, the purpose and the goal for which it was created. The reward and the spiritual light that the neshama achieves and attains as a result of what it does down here is unbelievably greater than whatever it had before it came down. That's understandable, the Rebbe says. We know this, we understand this, that the purpose of creation is to come down into the world. But what I would think is that once the neshama finishes and completes its mission and goes back up there to Gan Eden, then the main thing is the spiritual energy that the neshama reaches. Now it can get connected to the essence of Hashem because it fulfilled its mission down here. But we see not like that. The neshama doesn't only go to Gan Eden, that's only the first step. The main and the ultimate purpose, and like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, of everything, and the ultimate receiving reward that the neshama receives, and the ultimate levels that the neshama attains, is not up in Gan Eden, but rather when it finally comes down by Tchias HaMesim and it comes back down into a physical body. And you see this, that even neshamas that were in Gan Eden for 3,000 years, neshamas that were in Gan Eden and they had in this world done so much amazing things, and therefore in Gan Eden they're going higher and higher every day, 3 times a day. And yet after all of these heights that the neshama achieves, those neshamas as well will come back down here to become into a body. What for? Seemingly they already achieved anything they could. And the answer is that obviously not only as a result of being down here can one achieve the highest levels, more than that, the real highest levels can only be attained while connected to the physical world and to the physical body. And it's the same thing with regards to the coming of Mashiach. Not only do we attain the greatest blessings and the greatest abundance as a result of what we've done down here by elevating and refining the physical world, more than that, even after the coming of Mashiach, when we receive those great amazing levels of the coming of Mashiach, even then they're connected with the elevation and the Kisish Beit Am and Misha with elevating the physical world, to the extent that we say Mizmar, this song that connects to the angels and elevating the physical world, we say that before Shir. Why is it like this? So now we'll continue inside in Oy Zayin of the Maamar to learn that the Rabbi explains how and why this works. How is this explained? Regarding the advantage of the avoid of the neshama's divine service, whilst it's inside a physical body, over this avoid of the neshama, the way it was up above before it came down here. Shnei biurim bechlalos. There's 2 general explanations to what the advantage is. In other words, the simple concept that we seemingly look at is that neshama is what it's all about. Because what's physical? What's this physical world? That's not what everything is. Everything is the neshama. But in order for the neshama to attain greater heights, it needs to go to this physical world first. But the purpose is not the physical world. That's the simple way we look at it. And so now the Rebbe says, let's look at 2 ways of understanding why the neshama has an advantage as a result of coming down here into the body. Number 1 is through the fact that the neshama serves Hashem, even whilst it's enclosed in a physical body, it now reveals how powerful is the connection of the neshama with Hashem. That even the concealment of the body and animalistic soul doesn't have the ability to get rid of, God forbid, and not even to diminish by the connection that the neshama has with Hashem. Which means, whilst the neshama was up there, it's only clear that the neshama's connection to Hashem is a limited one. It's only connected to Hashem as far as spirituality is. When the neshama comes here into a physical body and a physical existence, and it still is connected to Hashem, that shows that its connection is an essential one. One that's not only because that's just the way it is and there's nothing else. No, here it was down here. There was other things. There was a physical existence, etc. And yet it still had such a powerful connection that the concealment of the body did not have the power to get rid of or even to diminish its connection to Hashem. And the Rebbe continues to explain this, Valachas kama v'kama. How much more so? When the avodah of the neshama down here is with a powerful love, that's even above reason and understanding. Like the love that a son has to his father, that as a result, now, that even whilst the neshama was down here, it had such a powerful love that makes no sense because here I am in the physical world. Whilst the neshama was up there, it was all making sense. It was a spiritual, limited spiritual love. Once it comes down here and it still has a love that's beyond understanding because there's just the nature of the child loving his father. That's what's revealed now in the neshama, and this reveals the powerful connection that the neshama has with Hashem, the way this love comes from the essence of the soul, as the soul is rooted in the essence of the infinite light of Hashem. Similar to the son, the way it is in the brain of the father himself. Meaning, the neshama, the way it's up above, the neshama, the way it's in the spiritual worlds, is following a nature. It's the revealed aspects of the neshama. The neshama is now a separate entity from Hashem. What is its entity? It's a spiritual entity. What is the meaning of spiritual? It realizes the truth of godliness and therefore has a natural yearning to want to connect to Hashem. But the fact that the neshama was able to come down here in a place where it's not a natural yearning, in a place where its existence is dependent on a physical body and a physical world, and yet even there go with a love which doesn't even make sense. That love comes from and is revealing the fact that the reality of the neshama is like the child, but not just the child that loves the father, because then some things can take that love away. But the way the child is rooted in his essence and source of the father's brain, is one with the father, and therefore there's nothing in the world that can separate him because that's his real existence. And the Rabbi goes on to explain how this works. Because the neshama, the way it's in Atzilus, compared to the level of the neshama, the way it's in Atzilus, even in the highest level of Atzilus, where the neshama is in a spiritual world. So there, it's still an existence. It's like the child that has been drawn from the brain of his father. Over there, it's still that Ayirida Lebiyah, the descent of this neshama from Atzilus into the worlds of Bria and Yetzirah Asiyah, which are a existence of a world. Umikol Shekena Ayirida Lemata Be'elam Haza Agashmi, how much more so it's coming down here to a physical world, not just to Bria, Yetzirah Asiyah, which are which are higher worlds. But the way it comes down into this physical world, malemes umasteres alzeh, will hide and conceal the fact. V'chayodua sherak neshama is that Atzilus nikru b'shem banim, as we know that it's only neshamas of Atzilus that are called children of Hashem, because it's only in Atzilus, in the spiritual realms, that the neshama feels that natural love and yearning to Hashem. Whereas once it comes down into the worlds of Bria Yitzira Asiyah, it is already disconnected. It doesn't feel that same natural love and yearning. So therefore, that shows that the neshama, the way it's in Atzilus, is limited. It's limited to the fact that it will only be a son while it's in Atzilus. Whereas when it goes down into the physical and material existence, into this world, it's no longer a child of Hashem. Which means that even while it was in Atzilus, it was a limited connection, because it's limited to be spiritual while it's spiritual. And the fact that even when it comes down here, it still feels the fact that it's a son. It still feels the same yearning and wish to connect to Hashem. She'ava shelo, he ava atzmis, shelemayla mitam v'das, k'avas ben le'aviv. The fact that even while the neshama is down here, in a place where its existence seemingly is the physical, material world, where it's away from Hashem, and yet it still has that supernatural, that beyond the love which is totally beyond intellect, beyond understanding, and beyond reason. That shows, that comes from something deeper. That comes from an essential thing that never changes, not even when it comes down here. So that's the idea of this that causes this fact that even down here it still is connected to Hashem, comes through revealing the essence of the neshama, the way it's in the brain of the Father before it came down. Shalagabe dargazu, compared to this level of etzem and neshama, the essence of the soul, the way it's rooted, sourced in the essence of Hashem. Atzilus ubiyayim b'shaveh. There's no difference between Atzilus and Bria Yitzira Asiyah, and even this physical world. Which means that as long as the neshama was in Atzilus, it was a limited neshama. It was a neshama that was limited to be able to show its love only in Atzilus, and once it comes to Biyah, it can't show the same love. But when the neshama comes down into this world, it still has that love that's beyond reason, as a son has for a father. How does that happen? Because what's being revealed is the essence of the neshama that's way above the way it was in Atzilus. It's the essence that Atzilus and Biyah are all equal, and therefore it's all the same. Now the Rebbe continues. So that's number one. That's the simple thing. But now we're still continuing this idea. But we explained up until now how the neshama, when it comes down into this physical world, shows and reveals the fact that it could still connect to Hashem and can still have a love that's beyond reason, that shows the essence of the neshama. Now the Rebbe adds, Dikir Gilui Dargazu, Ulahaisiv Dikir Gilui Dargazu, Etzem Neshama Kamoish Mushreshes Batzmos. The main revelation of this level, which means which level? The level that's above Atzilus, the level of the essence of the soul, essentially how it's one with the essence of Hashem. Where is this revealed? We explained that it's revealed when it's down here and still manages to connect to Hashem and do Torah mitzvahs and have love that's beyond reason. Says the Rebbe now, no, the main way it's revealed is through something else. Through the service of refining, elevating the body and the animal soul and his part, his lot in this world. It's mostly not with just Torah and mitzvahs. That's done even down here, but more than that, with actually being involved with the physical body in the material world. Why? Shaguf and Nefesh Abamis Einam Yechelim Lahastir. The fact that the body and the animal soul don't have the ability to conceal over the love of the neshama, which is beyond reason and understanding. Where does that come from? Because the essence of the infinite light of Hashem, in which the neshama is rooted, hu b'chol makim, is everywhere, and therefore nothing can hide over it. So the first concept, the simple concept of the fact that the neshama, when it's down here, still connects to Hashem and still does Torah mitzvahs, that reveals the fact that Hashem, the power of Hashem, is everywhere, and even down here, and therefore nothing will hide over it, because it didn't change the fact that it was down here. The revealed parts of the neshama are different in Atzilus and Biyah. The essence of the neshama is the same everywhere, and therefore even when it's under the body and Nefesh Abamis, nothing changed, because it's the essence of Hashem. However, the power that the neshama has to actually refine and elevate the body and the animal soul themselves, not only that the neshama is still connected to Hashem even when it's down here, more than that, that the neshama takes the physical existence and transforms it, that it should also connect to Hashem. That's more than just the fact that nothing can hide over the neshama. That's something more. That's because the essence of the infinite light of Hashem, in which the neshama is rooted, is not at all defined by any type of definition. So not only is it not limited, not only is it everywhere even when there's something that seems to be concealing over it, but it's not defined by any definition, so it's not defined by the definition of being defined into spirituality. Therefore, as a result of this, this causes that even the body and the animal soul, that they by definition, what does the word physicality mean? Materialism. It means it's not connected to godliness. It's not a vessel and a receptacle for godliness. And yet, through the neshama that's not defined by any definition, the neshama that reveals the power of the essence of Hashem makes them become receptacles for godliness. So not only the neshama comes from Atzmos, and therefore it's not limited to just the spiritual worlds. It could even be in a physical world and concealed, hidden over by the physical existence, and still shine and have that love which is beyond reason. More than that, the neshama, which isn't defined by any type of definition, causes the guf, the body, to lose their definition of physicality, and that they themselves should become an actual keli, a vessel, to be able to receive the godly light. So this is all stage one. This is all the first reason and the first idea of what the neshama attains as a result of it coming down into the physical world. That by coming down into the physical world, whilst it was in Atzilus, it was limited to spirituality. When it's in this physical world, it's revealed a higher level of the neshama that's not limited to spirituality. And even more than that, that's not even defined by any definition, that can therefore change the physical, the definition of the physical, that they should also become kelim for lukus. But now we get to a higher idea, a stronger, more powerful advantage that happens in the neshama by coming down here. And that's in Noisches, another explanation in the advantage of the neshama, as it is enclosed in the body, is the shoyresh haguf u'lemaila mishoyresh haneshama. Not only, explanation number one was that as long as the neshama is up there, that full power of the neshama is not revealed because it's only the revealed part of the neshama, not the essence of the neshama. And only by coming down here does the neshama reveal what it really is in the essence of Hashem, that it's not defined or limited by anything. The second explanation is no, not only by being down here and still being connected and even transforming the body, the neshama reveals a higher power in the neshama itself. More than that, the neshama, by connecting to the body, is now reaching the level and the source of the body, which in essence is higher than the source of the soul. Why is the source and the root of the body higher than the root of the soul? The neshama is ksiv banim atem lavaya lekeichem. Regarding the neshamas, it says, you are sons of Hashem, your God. You are children of Hashem. V'lachein, and therefore, ha'ava v'aiskashrus d'HaKadosh Baruch Hu liYisrael mitzad nishmasam, the love and connection that Hashem has for the Jewish people because of their souls, Hi al derech avas av libnoi, is similar to the love that a father has to the son. Hainu, this means sheshoyresh avazu, the root of this love, himi madrega sheshayeches sham tvisas makim nanev, is from a level where there is an existence and a reality of the one that's being loved. It's not fully from the essence of Hashem. The fact that Hashem's love is like the love that a father has for a son, the love that a father has for a son is not focused only on the father. On the contrary, it's because the son is a son, because he's my son, that's why I love him. I don't love someone else's son the same way I love my son, because the natural love is for my son because of who he is. So here, it's not just the essence of Hashem, it's the natural love that Hashem has for the neshama because of who the neshama is, that the neshama is a son. But Machenkeinu ava vaiskashrus d'HaKadosh Baruch Hu liYisrael mitzad haguf shalem, whereas the love and connection that Hashem has for the Jewish people because of their body, or the love that is felt from Hashem to the Jewish body, Hiloi mitzad mailas haguf, isn't because of the greatness, isn't because of the specialness that the body has. Gam lo yamayla de ben mayla atzmis. Okay, so we have different types of greatness. There's a greatness or a specialness that comes from something that it did. A person did something special. I can love someone because they were good to me. They were kind to me. I can love someone because they're good, because they're kind, because they're good people. I can love someone because of their wisdom, because of their superior qualities. There, the love is very limited because I'm loving because of a specific thing. When a father loves a son, it's not because of any specific thing. It's an essential love. It's called an ava atzmis. It's a love that comes from the essence of the father. He loves his son because he's his son. But even there, it's because of a reason. Not like the first thing that we said. It's not because of superior qualities that the son has, but it's because he's his son. Whereas when Hashem loves the body of a Jew, there was no reason for that. It's not because the body is a son, because it's not. So it's not because of some type of advantage of the body, not even an advantage that comes from the essence, which is that it's like a son. Ella, rather, it's mitzad zeh, sha'HaKadosh Baruch Hu bochar ba'guf d'Yisrael. It's because of the fact that Hashem chose the body of a Jew b'vchirasei achavshis, with Hashem's free choice, shebchira zui me'atzmusei mamish. A choice that has nothing that causes it, is something that comes from the very essence. The essence of Hashem says, I love the Jewish people. When Hashem loves our souls, it's because our souls are special. When He loves our bodies, it's because. That's the essence. That's a deeper connection. It's one that comes from free choice of Hashem, from the very essence of Hashem, with nothing else involved. And the Rebbe continues, now, when the neshama that above it was the level of ben, a son, that its connection to Hashem came from the essence of the neshama, but because of the essence of what the neshama is. When this neshama comes down into a body, and it works inside the body, nimshach gamba neshama inyan de b'chiraso atzmos. Now the neshama that beforehand only had the love that comes from the connection of a father to a son, now the neshama attains something higher. It reaches also the choice of atzmos, the essential choice, which has no reason whatsoever, just because now the neshama that seemingly doesn't have that attains this connection to Hashem also that comes from the essence, because it was involved with the body. Now the Rebbe continues to explain this. V'hainu, the Rabbi or Arisha, and according to the first explanation that we said, the first explanation, which is that the neshama now reaches its own source, that it wasn't when it was in Atzilus. The ascent, the great advantage and the great level, the height that the neshama reaches as a result of its service, its working in the body. What is happening is that as a result of the neshama being involved with the physical body, it's revealing its source, its root in the essence of the infinite light of Hashem, which is like the son, the way he's in the brain of the Father himself, before it was drawn down, which means that all that happened, nothing new happened. The neshama only when it was in Atzilus, its true root, its true essence wasn't revealed. By coming down here and being able to be connected to Hashem nonetheless, then it reveals its true essence, that its connection to Hashem isn't limited to spirituality. But what was revealed is the essence of the neshama. But Levi Rasheni, according to the second explanation, through the avodah that the neshama works inside the body, something new happened. It didn't just reveal that which was there but wasn't revealed. It now attains a new level, something that it never had before. Hamshachaso atzmos, it's now able to draw down the essence of Hashem, which is even higher than the root of the neshama, the way it is in the brain of the Father himself. So there's three levels that we're talking about. We're talking about the regular, usual idea of the neshama, the way it's in Atzilus, is like a child that came out of the father's brain. Once that child, in this case, leaves Atzilus and goes into Biyah, it's no longer a child, it's not on the level of child anymore, at least in a revealed sense. But through the avodah that the neshama does inside the body and still remains connected to Hashem, it's now revealing and uncovering its true root, which is in the brain of the Father, where it's one with the Father, and therefore no matter where it goes, it's always a child. But it's all revealing only the neshama, what the neshama has. Then there's the second concept, which is as a result of the avodah in the body, the neshama now attains a new level, which is higher than the neshama. But now the neshama is able to attain it as well, a connection that comes from the very essence, which is even higher than the child, the way it's in the essence in the brain of the Father, but rather it attains the real full essence of Hashem that's totally not limited by anything, not by any type of limitation or definition whatsoever. Now the Rebbe continues, V'yishleimar, Dezeh shal yidei avedas haneshama ba'guf, nase ba'inyin chadash, the fact that through the neshama working inside the body, something new, the neshama attains something new, a new concept, shalamayla gamisharsha, which is above its own root and source. Who? Why is this? Because in truth, in other words, the question is, if the neshama is the sun, so we understand how the neshama, by being down here, is able to achieve its source. But how can a neshama, by its avodah down here, reach a level which is above its source? That has nothing to do with the neshama. So the Rebbe says no, because in truth, the choice that Hashem chooses the Jewish people because of the essence of Hashem is not really only in the body, like we said earlier, that the body, it's free choice because there's nothing special about it. So Hashem isn't choosing it because of anything that the body has. He's just choosing it because that's what He decided. In truth, this free choice is also in the neshama itself. Who made the neshamas become Hashem's children? Hashem is not limited by anything. He's not forced to anything. He chose it with free choice. So then what's the difference? In the neshama, the way we see it, the way it's revealed to us now, that it has that advantage of being Hashem's son, so then the choice is seemingly, in a revealed way, it's coming from something special that it has. It's not purely free choice. That concept of purely free choice, which in essence is there, is still hidden. And through the neshama's work within the body, that in the body, the choice of Atzmos, the free and total free choice of Atzmos is revealed. As a result, this revelation comes down into the neshama as well. So that's the two explanations, the two concepts that there is. The neshama reveals its true source, and the neshama reveals something deeper that's in, as long as we call it neshama, seemingly not there, which is the free choice of Hashem. Hashem chose it just because that's the way it is. Now the Rebbe says, one of the differences of these two explanations is, according to the first explanation, which means the explanation that through the soul working in the body, it reveals now its essence that's beyond any type of limitation or definition. According to the first explanation, we're actually not doing anything with the body. The body is not an important part over here. The body is a middle. The body is a vehicle that enables the neshama to reach its true source. But the body itself isn't the important part over here. And therefore, there's a place to say, according to this first explanation, which is what makes sense to say, that once, as a result of my working in the body, the root of the neshama was revealed, it served its purpose. It was the vehicle for bringing out, for enabling the neshama. That means by the concealment of the body. And the neshama still stayed connected. That brought out the actual source and root of the neshama. And therefore, in tzricha neshama laguf, there's no more need for the body now. But, according to the second explanation, גם הגילוי שנמשך לנשמה על ידי עבודתו בגוף הוא המשך העשויים לבחירת העצמוס ששייך בעיקר לגוף. What comes to the neshama? Which revelation does the neshama attain as a result of its working in the body? The fact that it now is connecting to the choice of atzmos, of the essence of Hashem, which is mostly connected to the body. So it's not just using the body as a vehicle that the neshama should reveal what it really is. No, it's now finding, it's realizing and reaching the greatness of the body that's above the neshama, and now the neshama is attaining it as well. And therefore, it's not just we needed the avodah. Now that we had the avodah, the root of the neshama was reached. Forget the body. No. The whole point is the greatness of the body, and therefore in Tchias HaMesim, which is the main revelation, the revelation is one that's connected to the body, and therefore it's only when the soul is inside the body. Now we understand why there was the need for the neshama to come back down here by Tchias HaMesim, even though it already did what it had to do with the body. Because that's what's really being revealed, is the essence of the neshama, how it's connected with something deeper, with the essence of the body, and that's mostly revealed when it's inside a body. And this can be connected with this that's known. Then in the time of the future, the neshama will feed off the body. Just like now the body feeds off the neshama. The body is the physical existence, the energy, the life of the body comes from the neshama. The main thing is the neshama, that's what sustains the body. In the time of Mashiach it will be the opposite. The neshama will get its chayas, its sustenance, its life from the body. Why? What's going to be revealed in the future in the time of Tchias HaMesim? The essence of Hashem, the choice of Hashem's essence will be revealed. But that's that's mostly connected to the body, and therefore since the neshama will be receiving that, then it will then feed off the body. That will be the main place where the neshama will be connected to the physical existence of the